And welcome to Hero Power. I am your host, Avantes, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Zeroshio.
Hey, absolutely love that Skype lets us hear your desktop sounds now because I can rock out to our music for our intro.
Right? And Versika.
I'm loving it too, but just so I can hear what's going on. I mean, I love rocking out to it, but I was doing that anyway. I would pull up the Twitch stream and listen while I was waiting on you to pull us into intro, but it's really nice to hear it in real time.
There you go, yeah. So, all right. Well, we have a great show lined up for you today, a little bit to talk about, and then we're going to veer off from our normal deck of the week this week, and that's because we have a very special guest in the Tavern Brawl this week. The Horseman rides. So
Headless Horseman. That's going to be fun. Normally we would not break off our norms for something like a Tavern Brawl, but this is seasonal. It's the first of its kind for this type of event, and I really think it's great for the show.
It's gonna be fun. So
And it's hard.
Yes, it is. It is not easy. It's not like heroic level hard, but it is definitely not easy.
But it's hard enough.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Well, all right. So, no new emails, no new iTunes reviews this week. Zeroshio's looking pretty hungry over there.
Yeah, this beard's getting long. I might have to nibble on it a bit.
All right, so let's jump right into the news. This past weekend was a pretty big weekend for Hearthstone tournaments. We had two going on simultaneously. When we talked briefly about it last week, we had TwitchCon 2017 going on with the Oktoberbrawl finals between Team Void and Team Light. And did either of you get a chance to watch this? Because I did not. I was watching the other Hearthstone tournament that was taking place.
I was watching Dreamhack.
I unfortunately did not because I was in the woods shooting people with Nerf guns.
Oh, yeah,
but I did hear that obviously we know Crip had appendicitis and he could not attend. Disguised Toast did fill his spot. And what was neat is based on the past winnings, they were able to put different curses on them. And basically, Disguised Toast, or Criparian, but Disguised Toast and Proxy, only had, like, I think it was 15 seconds per turn. And a young lady behind him would tap him on the shoulder to tell him when to end his turn.
Oh, no.
And then the dog had to dress like a Murloc, and he was in a full-body Murloc suit. And there were a few other – everybody had something pretty much. But Team Void ends up winning the Oktoberbrawl as expected because they got the most fan support and they got the most cards. Yeah. So it was justifiable, but it was a lot of fun. I like that they did this. So that was really. I hope they do it again because I enjoyed watching the Oktoberbrawl, and specifically I enjoyed watching the streams of the players doing the Oktoberbrawl. Specifically, Jackie Chan. He really got into it. He actually got on the ladder. I think he got the highest rank, rank 9 out of all of the players in Oktoberbrawl with their Oktoberbrawl account.
Okay. I need to go back and probably try to find and watch the finals. That sounds like it was hilarious.
I did see a picture of them giving this trophy to Team Void, and Dog looked absolutely silly in this full-bodied Murloc. looked like a onesie pajama with a hoodie. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Masika in a full-body Murloc, yeah.
And they don't make them this tall, boys.
It did make me think. I don't know. Dog's not a short man.
He's not 6'3".
I think he's like 6'1" or 6'2". You will stretch it out for you. But speaking of Dreamhack Denver, the Grand Prix was this weekend as well. I caught some VODs, and I caught the very end of it because I was home on Sunday. Did you guys watch this at all on the weekend?
Yep, watched
Yeah.
most of it Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I watched most of the finals on Sunday. I was pretty busy during the day, but I got to watch all of the finals.
So the top four were Ike, Dr. Jikaninki, Rosti, and Monsanto.
Four established names in the Hearthstone community.
One of which was a former DreamHack winner in Dr. Jikaninki.
Yes, just previously at DreamHack Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. And Ike takes his first DreamHack championship win over Dr. Jikaninki, which actually there was no blemishes on him at all. He went 13-0 the entire tournament, didn't he?
He was on a mission.
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit about Ike, because I had the pleasure of getting to meet him in Boston. That was his first. In fact, Boston was his first major event. Like, nice. He plays a lot online, but he does a lot on the ladder. But this was his first. Boston was his first major event. So DreamHack, I don't know that he played any other majors between Boston and DreamHack, because it was only about a month.
There weren't any.
Yeah, there were no month, unless
there were
he
no
traveled,
majors.
Unless he traveled to Montreal for DreamHack, because that fell between Atlanta. Because that was after. That was after Boston.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he was at Montreal or not.
Yeah,
regardless, but that still isn't a lot of time to prepare for and something like this.
Everybody, a lot of the pros that were in Boston were talking up how good Ike is, and you really got to see that on display this past weekend at Denver. Like you said, he went 13-0. Matched up in the finals against the former Atlanta winner, Dr. J. Yeah. And they put on a show. They really did. They put on a clinic in the finals, because Ike went up really quick 2-0, and then Dr. J comes back and wins games 3 and 4 to tie up the series.
Wow.
And force a game 5. I mean,
so he reverse sweep.
He was. So Dr. J was looking for the reverse sweep, and Ike was looking to keep that perfect record. I mean, you couldn't have dreamed up a better matchup for the finals for DreamHack Denver. It was a great event.
That's awesome. Now, one thing I want to talk about is our top 16 had some real big notables. A lot of past DreamHack competitors, winners. One that stood out to me, though, is a little known, I guess you call rookie in the major scene. He's a Denver native, comes from a family of gamers, and he actually lost to was a DreamHack Austin winner, Shoop, which is huge praise. He goes by the moniker MTG Kid, has a family that has a big background in collectible card games, specifically Magic the Gathering. 12 years old. I'm almost 40, and if I was able to say that I made it top 16 and lost to a former DreamHack champion, my bucket list is done. I'm done. I don't have to play Hearthstone no more. This kid's 12 years old, was able to pocket, I think it was $657, and say that he made top 16 and lost to a former champion.
Yeah.
Amnesiac, eat your heart out. I mean, there's a new kid on the block. What do you think of this 12-year-old?
He waited a whole week to say that.
Yeah, sure did. What do you think of this 12-year-old? Do you think this kind of like a step in the door of professional Hearthstone might encourage him and his family, who has a history of competitive collectible card games? Do you think that may encourage them to maybe enter him in more tournaments and fly out to these other DreamHacks?
I think he'll definitely enter more tournaments. I don't know how serious he's going to be until they kind of figure out exactly how they want to do their tournament scene. I was just kind of checking out Twitter I don't really go on Reddit much, but I wanted to see what Reddit was saying about the fact that for the second American DreamHack in a row, Blizzard scheduled another major event on the same weekend. So
Well,
for a lot of people, that's something that doesn't it conveys a sense of disorganization with
in Blizzard's defense, for DreamHack Denver, which was this weekend, it wasn't Blizzard. It was Twitch that scheduled it. Blizzard just had a presence there. And if a major, convention like TwitchCon says, hey, we're doing a big convention on this weekend. Do you want to come out and show your product? I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I wouldn't say no because we have DreamHack going on, which isn't even really Blizzard. DreamHack's ran by a totally different, separate entity. And for Atlanta, Blizzard did have, a big event at San Diego Comic-Con. Again, that's not ran by Blizzard. Blizzard was just invited to that convention. I do agree with you, though. I think these other conventions need to schedule better. I don't think it's Blizzard's fault. I think it's, TwitchCon and DreamHack and San Diego Comic-Con's fault.
Well, okay, so if we're talking strictly in the terms of, do you want to offer Hearthstone players the same kind of deal that you have offered your Overwatch League and your HGC players, then your argument is valid. But because they're not doing that, then they need to do a better job of scheduling Hearthstone events around where these players can go and play in the tournaments and actually make a living off of it. Until they can do that, I don't think that you're going to have people leaving games like Magic to go over to Hearthstone. Now, if you have people that are just getting into a competitive gaming scene, they picked Hearthstone as their game, then they can chase it and they can pick and choose which tournaments they want to go to and where they want to get their points. But if you're looking to pull in somebody from, say, poker or Magic or one of these other collectible card games, you're going to have to provide a stable working environment, because in the end, they want to make money playing this game, and they want to have their best shot at the big bucks. And right now, the big bucks is a Blizzard hosted event. So if you're not playing in the Blizzard tournaments, are you making enough money to survive? Well, you're going to have to supplement that through these side events. And if these side events are going to be offering points to get into the Blizzard events, then they have to be spaced out enough to where people can actually go and compete, and you're not forcing them to choose between events based on prize pot or money. You're giving them the opportunity to go and kind of win or work their own way through it.
And I agree, but just to clarify, DreamHack is not a Blizzard ran or sponsored event. They don't even give up any prize money for it.
Right.
DreamHack does it all themselves.
Once again, to my point, unless you're planning on making your Hearthstone players, putting them in a league like the Overwatch League or like HGC, which is their other two major competitive esports, then you've got to give them the opportunity to attend these Hearthstone events that aren't Blizzard events.
Right. So I just want to say, and I can't name any names or anything, but I've had a conversation with Blizzard employees. You guys will remember they ran a fireside type event at PAX East. They ran a fireside type event at, as Zeroshio just said, at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
They are wanting to do more of different types of Hearthstone events tied to major conventions. I've even had a conversation about what, came to me and said, what's the biggest convention in your area? Well, that would be DragonCon.
DragonCon, yeah.
And they were like, well, what do you think it would take to run a Hearthstone type event at DragonCon? And we've had this type of conversation, and those conversations are happening regularly, and again, they want to do more tied in with conventions, but we'll just have to wait and see, how they manage to integrate that going forward.
I do think so far the last two major conflicts we've had have both been DreamHack events. I do think the onus is on DreamHack to make sure they're scheduling around other major conventions, not just for Hearthstone, but for all of the competitive esports. Because obviously at TwitchCon and at
do you
San
know
Diego
how
Comic-Con,
hard that would be to schedule
yeah,
an
you're right.
event around PUBG tournaments, around CS:GO
Yep.
tournaments, around Hearthstone tournaments? It's next to impossible. You just have
Oh, I
to
know.
Right.
you just have to schedule your date and say, here it is. You show up or you don't, it doesn't matter to us.
That was going to be my next point, is that DreamHack does not do events just in the United States. They are worldwide. If you go to their website, they have like, I think around 20 plus of DreamHacks a year. And also some side tournaments that are game specific. So I just think these are one of these things we kind of have to bite the bullet for. I do agree with Versika that it does look bad when you have pro players of any game, not just Hearthstone, having to pick which convention they want to go to. Hopefully it gets a little better in the future. We'll just have to see.
Well, right now, DreamHack is the only other major organization besides Blizzard offering competitive Hearthstone prize pools that I know of.
Well, ESL is.
Well, okay, but how do you get? Where do you even find that? How do you get in?
Their tournaments are pretty much just in the United States, and they're the next biggest, pretty much. And you do online cups to qualify for them.
Okay, so you have to play how many hours online to qualify for? You don't
That's
get
right.
to go to an event.
I'm just giving your comparison.
Well, but what I'm
you know.
saying is, as far as like the average person being able to go out and compete, a la a Magic the Gathering event, because that's how this
You're
article
talking
all
about
ties back in.
specific open majors.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about, because
Yeah.
the point of this article was how do you pull these players like the 12-year-old from Magic the Gathering, not whether or not Blizzard needed to do this or Hearthstone needed to do this. It was how do you get people from these other venues to come in and grow your sport? How do you pull them from other competitive sports? Well, that's how you do it. You create more tournaments where they can come and just sign up or pay an entry fee. If you're expecting somebody to put in hours upon hours and hundreds upon hundreds of games to try to work their way into the chance to play for one event, you're not going to grow your sport very quickly.
Exactly.
So, this argument is based solely on pulling from another competitive. Well, I'm going to lump poker into esports and Magic into esports, but I'm going to say alternative sports. You're going to have to pull them. In order to do that, you're going to have to provide a means to make a living, which means more open events besides just DreamHack and just the Blizzard events and making the qualifications so time-consuming to get into those events.
Right.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. As somebody who would like to step into the professional scene, I consider myself semi-pro because I have been to a major. I would like more opportunities to have open majors, maybe more DreamHacks or more options other than DreamHack that are the same type of tournament, that have a decent prize pool, HCT points, and an open invitation for, a limited pool of people like a DreamHack.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about our next topic, and we kind of briefly talked about this a little bit before the show. We were all pretty excited to talk about this, but on the topic of tournaments, Jade Druid, Tempo Rogue, or Highlander Priest, which do you ban? So, this is a good topic in and of itself, but when you look beyond just which of those do you ban, the fact that there's 3 really good decks out there right now is the fact that we see that this answer is not necessarily set in stone a sign that the tournament meta is in good shape? So Versika, let's start with you on this topic since you introduced it, and then we'll let Zeroshio talk. So you go first.
Well,
talk.
One of the things that I noticed this weekend was a at least in the last hero standing format, which, competitively is different than our standard format. People were banning Rogue. They were banning the Tempo Rogue. And the reason why, from what I can understand, and the casters hinted that this might be the reason, but I think listening to some of the players talk, I believe they were pretty close. And that is that if you're looking to counter, which is a lot harder to counter a meta or counter a particular deck archetype in Last Hero Standing, if you're looking to prepare for a deck archetype, it's easier to prepare for Jade Druid and Highlander Priest because a lot of the same counters exist. So that leaves, if you don't prepare for those two, you have to prepare for Rogue as well. If you ban one of those two, then it leaves you open to Rogue, which could sweep you. But in sort of the Last Hero Standing more so than the standard format, you also have to worry about Pirate Warrior, which you can kind of prepare in the same way that you prepare for Tempo Rogue for Pirate Warrior. So it really created this. It was like a paradox almost. It's like you choose your own adventure in a way. You have to decide what you want to play against, and then you really have to understand what deck you're better at, how you want to win the tournament, which means that you have to decide whether you are going to pick what deck you're going to play next based on what your opponent was playing or based on a strategy of moving along what you brought and manipulating what they play. It's, in my opinion, it created a little more complex outside of the game meta. You have to figure out what your opponent's playing, how good are they at playing Highlander versus Jade versus Pirate Warrior versus Tempo Rogue. So, you going up against someone who you deem to be a better Pirate Warrior or Tempo Rogue player, then you're going to ban the Tempo Rogue. Well, then your lineup may not be as good against Highlander Priest or Jade Druid. But, you had to kind of prepare for one or the other. So, if I'm looking at that list and I'm looking about who I'm going to be possibly going up against, whose Priest am I scared of? Whose Tempo Rogue am I scared of? Whose Pirate Warrior am I scared of? And I think that made for a really interesting dynamic this weekend. And I think just by looking at that top 16 and how many notable players were at the top, I think proved that this was not net deck and come and have a good time and ladder your way to the top. You had to know what your deck did, what your opponent's deck did, what their tendencies were. It took study, it took preparation, it took practice, it took understanding of the fundamentals of Hearthstone and understanding of the advanced techniques of Hearthstone and understanding of your opponent's understanding. It was so layered. And it was one of the reasons why I wasn't really planning on watching a lot of Dreamhack this weekend, but I was absolutely glued to the tournament because those situations were present and they've not been there in so long.
Yes.
And to me, that says that that not only is the meta stable, but it's in good shape. It may be slower than people want it. I understand that. I understand that the games are long. I understand that some of them, don't like sitting in front of a television or a computer monitor for 14 hours and watching a Hearthstone event. I get it. I really do. But as far as the quality of games, I felt like I didn't watch really a terrible game unless they just drew dead. I felt like the games were on point and top notch, and I really enjoyed watching it. And I mean, Last Hero Standing, they made an argument this weekend more than any other weekend that it's a format to be reckoned with and may be considered for some alternative events besides Dreamhack.
Okay, so first, I want to talk about the meta as a whole. It's great to see at this point in the meta we have 3 powerhouse decks. A lot of times you whittled it down to 2 right before a new set's about to be announced. Also, I'm looking at my Hearthstone deck tracker, and I'm seeing over my course of this month, I have played all 12 classes. at this point in the meta, 2 months after a launch, it is very rare to not see one or two classes completely drop off the ladder, and also completely drop off the competitive scene. In the recent tournaments and majors, I believe HCT had all 12 classes represented. I believe also Dreamhack had all 12 classes representative. Am I right with that?
No. There's 9 classes, sir. There have been 9 classes.
Did I say 12? I meant 9. I'm looking at another thing, and the number 12 was on my screen. All 9 classes.
He's on mute. The rest of you can't hear the fact that he's cracking up, but he is on mute.
Anyway,
he's dying
all 9 classes is what I meant to say. I don't know where I got 12 from. I think it's because that number is on my screen. All 9 classes are represented on the ladder, as well as on the pro scene. You're seeing all 9 classes. Mind you, it's usually just one person bringing a hunter and a couple people bringing a warlock, but they're all there, and it's very rare to see at this stage of the meta. Now, when it comes to the choice of banning those 3 decks, it really depends on your lineup. Again, we're seeing in chat right now, everybody's saying ban rogue, ban rogue, ban rogue, because it's the most consistent deck. Me personally, in my league play, which uses a conquest system, I ban druid or priest because I have a fairly high win rate against rogue because I know how the deck performs. I also am one of the few players that plays paladin regularly, and paladin has a good win rate against rogue. One of the reasons that rogue is doing so good right now is paladin is not being brought to tournaments, and in HCT we saw paladin actually have good success against the rogues. So that was
success this weekend too.
Yeah, this weekend too. Again, I didn't get to watch as much of DreamHack as I'd like. I'm extremely happy where the meta's at. I know people are tired of seeing, and it was mentioned in our chat. I broke the secret of the new expansion. 12 classes. Woo, yeah, it's official. No, I'm seeing people in chat mention that they're tired of seeing the same decks. That's going to happen at this stage in the meta. You're going to get on the ladder, and you're going to see the top 3-4 decks that are listed tier 1 on all the meta reports, and that's all you're going to see on the ladder. And you got to either roll with it and grab those win rates or counter it. We are a week away, just a little, like 10 days away from the announcement of the next set. That's just par for the course for any collectible card game. You're going to see it probably a little more in flux just because you're going to have 3 sets a year instead of 2 sets and then a mini adventure, batch of cards come out. So you're going to see it in flux even more. I'm excited for it. I'm happy where Hearthstone is and the meta is right now. I have speculations that people aren't going to be happy with the new set because I think it's going to revolve around pirates. But as soon as Mean Streets phases out and Patches is gone from Standard, I think it'll all even itself out. But that's a discussion for another day.
It's funny. I've been playing mostly this month on the European server, and I only have one deck over there. I basically cashed in all of my cards and built the Druid Killer Crushing deck that I built on this server because I thought Jade Druid would still be the dominant deck even after the nerfs. But I'd built this pre-nerf. And I'm over there and actually have been very frustrated by the fact that I'm not running into the same Jade. Now over there, I think I'm ranked 6. I think I might have dropped down to 7 earlier in this week. But one of the things that I've noticed is that just because it's priest across from me doesn't mean that it's Highlander priest. It could easily be big priest. If I run into druid, it's just as likely that it's going to be a combo druid over a jade druid. Now, if I run into rogue, over there's a bounce, like a bounce mill rogue that has started to pop up. It was really strange, and it took me, I was turn 7 before I even realized what he was doing to me. That's hard to do to me now. Normally, I can figure out what I'm playing against in the first 3 or 4 turns, but I was completely lost still on turn 7. So, I mean, there still is variety and innovation, whereas in all the other metas that we've talked about since we've been on this show, at this point in an expansion, it is 2 decks that is driving the meta. Almost always 2 decks. Sometimes there's a third in there, but it's almost always 2 decks that you are going to see time and time and time and time again.
And the third is usually a counter deck to those other 2, and this is not the case.
Right. And I mean, now, I mean, yes, you got your 4 tier 1 decks, but those tier 2 decks, for the first time since I can remember talking about it, those tier 2 decks are very close, and you can make an argument for any one of them to be in that 3rd or 4th spot. And I really think, as far as diversity goes, this meta is as diverse as we've seen. Frustration level, I think the frustration level on this is pretty high as well. I think it's very frustrating because you can't prepare your deck like you used to be able to. If you knew you were going to come up to Jade Druid all day long, then you could take in a few cards and that would get you wins where it wouldn't normally get you. You know, now you can't do that because you're just as likely to run into something where that card just sits in your hand and wastes away. It's been a long time since we've had that. So I think for a lot of people, ladder is more frustrating this month than it has been since they've been playing Hearthstone. And it's not because of a deck that is killing everybody's soul. It is, you've got 7 decks. How do you prepare for 7 decks? You just can't do it.
And the minute you tech against Raza Priest, you face 4 Big Easy Priests in a row.
Yeah.
So it's not even different classes. You're getting diversity within class. Warlock has very strong control variant, and their Zoo is really strong. And Mage has 3 different varieties of decks. At this point in the meta, that's unheard of, which tells me that Knights of the Frozen Throne did it right. Not just Knights of the Frozen Throne, the combination of Ngoro and KFT together did it right. I hope they take the same vision into the next set that's coming out, and we start washing out all the old sets from last year and years prior to build a meta defining sets like this. And it brings up a question in chat. I believe Avanti was going to go ahead and hit up on this. Do you want to go ahead and mention the question?
So Nathan C in chat asked, what are your guys' thoughts on having 2 adventures in 1 expansion, or 2 expansions in 1 adventure per year, as opposed to the new 3 expansion per year model that we have now?
I thought he said 2 adventures and 2 expansions.
Yeah, well, that's which
is not what it was.
It's not what it was. It was 1 adventure, 2 expansions, or 2 adventures, 1 expansion. They alternated. But now,
okay. Well, I'm thinking what he's saying is that instead of 3 expansions, having 2 adventures and 2 expansions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe that's what he's saying too.
Okay.
I think the smaller pool of cards you get out of an adventure doesn't adjust the meta enough to make it enjoyable. So you really have the first set of the year's meta, we'll say in this case Ngoro, and then if Knights of the Frozen Throne had an adventure between it, the Ngoro meta would shift a little bit with that adventure, but not enough to brighten it up. And then we'd go a whole nother 3 or 4 months until we saw the next expansion, which in this case would be Knights of the Frozen Throne. I think it leaves too much staleness where you have a set of 135 cards adjusting the meta, or you have a small adventure of 45 cards adjusting the meta. I like the 3 sets of 135 cards, and if you break down the costs plus all the card packs they've started to give out free for different promotions and events and things, I don't think the cost is as different as people think. But I think that if we went to that staggered meta like we had before, we would go back to where we were, where metas got stale. And I think we're enjoying where we're at in the meta now because of the full set 4 months, full set 4 months rotation.
Yeah, and one of the things I was going to bring up, and actually he just brought it up in chat, is if you added 2 adventures and did 2 expansions, what you would do is you would shorten the cycle between when new cards would enter the meta. You would have to shorten it by at least 2 weeks. And that's if you're running right now it's 3 expansions, so 4 months in between. So what you would end up doing is having to move that down to 3 months. So you'd be taking a whole month off of each time before you get new cards. While I like that idea of interjecting new cards into the meta and forcing a meta shift 1 month earlier per expansion style cycle, the problem that you run into with an adventure is that because of the limited card pool, the cards have to be more impactful in order for the adventure to be worth spending the time in doing. And in an adventure, you have voiceover work. You have to figure out the adventure that you're going to run. You have to figure out where you want the cards to come from, what you're going to get at the end of the cards. And if you look going back into the previous parts of the meta that we're in now, you look at cards that are still around. Maelstrom Portal is an auto-include in almost every Shaman deck. Firelands Portal is almost an auto-include in every Mage deck. Medivh still makes an appearance. And in the decks that he's in, where he does make an appearance, it's almost always impactful. When they went into designing the adventures, they had to carefully weigh the impact that card was going to have, not only on the expansions that were already in in this case now it's standard or wild, but in that rotation. And they also had to weigh that against what they already had planned for the future rotations. Now, with so many more coming out, before you really only had to worry about one expansion ahead. Now you have to worry about expansions for the next, I'm going to say 18 to 12 months because of the way the cycle rotates out. You have to worry about what that's going to do and how that's going to impact what you can create 2 expansions down the road now, because Standard's card pool is so limited. Now you have to worry that it's going to stifle your creativity when you get to that last expansion of the cycle.
And
before releases, not just expansions. But
yeah.
I
think it's a great point.
More than anything, I think you have to worry about stifling creativity down the line, which is why the adventures went away to begin with, in my opinion. Everyone says it's about money, and I'm sure that the expansions have created a little more cash flow, but I'm more in the line with Zeroshio in the sense that I believe that the number of money made off of the expansions coming out of the adventures isn't as much a concern as it was that expansions tended to cause the adventures tended to cause problems in creating cards for the expansions because you would worry about breaking mechanics.
Also, they've changed the pack opening rules where you're not going to open duplicate legendaries. You're not going to get 3 of the same card in a pack. You only get as many. It goes into a deck, so you'll never get more than 2 of a certain card in a pack. These things go towards allowing you to spend less money to get more of the collection.
Improving quality of life.
Exactly. Improves quality of life for the pack openings. And in the long run, saves you a little money. I've spent the same amount of money pretty much every set. And Knights of the Frozen Throne was the first one where I felt I got more. There's a lot of cards I'm missing out of past sets. I'm not missing them out of Knights of the Frozen Throne. I think it's because of the new pack rules. And I think that there is going to help offset the cost of having 3 full sets a year.
Now, I will say that the idea of having 4 expansions a year, 4 smaller expansions, and having a faster rotation inside the meta could be desirable. And, that's something that they could look at. But that forces you to concept faster, which could, down the line, as employee turnover happens, could down the line keep you from being able to do what you ultimately want to do with a meta or within a theme. Much of like this year has kind of been a theme. I think it's harder to do that if you're trying to force creative juices out and get out 4 expansions in a year.
And you're thinking maybe 4 100 card sets instead of 3 135 card sets,
Right.
which would put about the same amount of cards.
I was actually thinking like 4 80 card sets.
Yeah, I'm more in
well,
the
that
line
would put
of,
less cards in the rotation.
right. I'm thinking 80 to 100 cards, maybe 2 sets be a little larger than the other 2, and that could be adjustment time. Like maybe you bring out a card for 2 months, and that next expansion maybe drops a little. Like expansions number 2 and 4 would drop a little sooner, and there would be a bigger gap between, say, expansions 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 of the next year. So that way you would give the meta time to develop, and you could use that next expansion as a way to tweak and adjust without having to nerf cards.
Matt at Arms in chat says, also think about this. More cards and expansions would mean, obviously, more time designing cards and expansions, and would mean possibly less in-game features and additions. Do you think that would be a fair trade-off?
And specifically, he says, would you rather have 4 expansions or tournament mode and 3 expansions?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this one because I have the unpopular opinion of the 3 of us. I know. I am firmly against tournament mode. And the reason why is because if you go into a game like Heroes of the Storm and even try to do unranked draft, it is a disaster almost every time unless you come in with a pre-made group. I think if you put a tournament mode out, it is going to absolutely suck the life and resources out of what Blizzard does with Hearthstone, that they're not going to have time to focus on anything else.
Okay.
And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but it's like you've got so many things about this game that you need to fix. One of which is ladder, which is, in my opinion, by far your most important problem.
Agreed.
Number 2 is you haven't really been able to provide a stable tournament circuit. You need to fix those 2 things before you even think about adding an in-game tournament mode. And they can't seem to fix those 2 things. So what would make me feel like Blizzard could properly run an online tournament mode, which is going to be pandemonium to try and manage?
I don't think that they should do an online tournament mode, but I would like a sandbox tournament mode that's similar to the Innkeeper system. You would have somebody in control of it that could use a in-game tournament system to run online tournaments. It wouldn't be anything a regular player could just hop into and get into. You would open up that selection and put in your tournament ID that was supplied to you by the online tournament organizers, and then it allows you into a tournament mode that does your bands, does your band UI for you, does all that stuff. I would like something like that in the game, and I would like them to work on that.
Okay, so the only way I could see that working is if you devote a tournament. If you devote one of the servers to tournaments, and this server is separate from the live game.
Yep.
You have to hit this. This is much like what the HGC people play on. If you have ever watched HGC and Heroes, they're always playing a patch behind because their server is different than the live server.
So, sort of like a
PCR
kind of server. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So if you had one of those specifically designed to allow people like Avantes, who's an innkeeper, to host and manage and run online tournaments, it could work that way. But if you try to integrate that into the live game, you're asking for trouble.
I believe there should be a selection for it in the live game that would move you over to that server when you put in that code. But it would resolve some of the issues. Maybe it would take a snapshot, some of the issues that we've had in the HCT where people would lose connection. It would pick up when they connected again. Again, this is the question was, would we rather them work on 3 expansions and a tournament mode? If that's what the mode they're going to work on, I would like them to devote time to it. But
I think
I do believe that
agrees
the
with
ladder
Zika.
system.
Yeah, he said Matt at Arms says he'll take 2 expansions, fix those issues, and a tournament mode.
Yeah, I do think the ladder is the more important issue and should be addressed first. Yes.
So, all right. So let's move on to our next topic, which is our BlizzCon hopes and dreams. BlizzCon is a week and 2 days away.
Yep.
So, what
My
do
hopes
you
and dreams
guys...
are that I was going to BlizzCon.
Yeah, well, that hope and dream is dead.
Well,
So-
we're talking realistic hopes
Yeah,
and dreams.
realistic
Rocio.
hopes and dreams. So-
Realistic.
What do you guys hope to hear coming out of BlizzCon? So, Zerocio, since Versika started the last one, and you are fixing to burst, I can see it. You're ready to talk. That's why I keep going, and I'm not letting you speak, but go.
Pirates versus ninjas.
Oh, God.
All right, so I called it 2 years ago that they were doing Pirates versus Ninjas. I hope that the next set is pirate and ninja themed, or at least pirate or at least ninja themed, so I can at least say I was half right. No, seriously though, there was some. We got it in our show notes. Not gonna go over in a lot of detail. There was some leaked reports by Hearthstone of some a thing that Blizzard sent out. You're invited to the Hearthstone Invitational, and it also had some data mined images. Now, some of those images showed up during the Tavern Brawl today, which I'll talk about more about that when we talk about the Tavern Brawl during the play portion. But I really hope that, and I know this is not going to be popular at all, and go ahead and send all your hate mail to Avantis, but I want a pirate-themed expansion, and I do think that that's the way they're going to go. I think they're going to name off something off the high seas or something pirate-based, but I think the adventure within the expansion will be Dead Mines, and I think you're going to have a lot of representatives of the Defias Brotherhood, and you will have lots of pirates, and that's what I hope happens.
Versika, what are your
Any
hopes and
other
dreams
hopes?
coming out of coming out of BlizzCon?
Once again, I'm not so pessimistic as to think that just because we would get pirates that it's just going to be all aggro face expansion. That being said, I do believe that we are going to see an uptick in Defias Brotherhood in this expansion. I think they would be missing a huge opportunity if they didn't do Dead Mines as the adventure. But that leak that they were talking about also talked about possibly a map to the Golden Monkey, which I think would be fantastic.
Treasure map.
To link Ungoro to this expansion by way of Knights of the Frozen Throne, if they can figure out a way to do it, would make me extremely happy. I would love to see it all come together in a way that maybe we haven't suspected. One of the things, though, that I hope with this expansion is that it is the epitome of balance. Because right now, like we talked about earlier in the episode, we feel like the meta, at least the tournament meta, has reached a point of being balanced, which is first time in a while. So if this set, because Whispers of the Old Gods, Karazhan, and Mean Streets of Gadgetzan is switching out, then there's a lot of, I don't want to say mediocre gap to fill, but there's a lot of cards that are just utility cards that we've been used to having that for the first time since Standard really launched with Whispers of the Old Gods, we're not going to have. So in an effort not to completely upend the balance, I like to see meta shakeups, but I don't want to see that balance go away. I would like to see this to be a pirate set and prove that they can do with pirates what they did with Death Knights.
So Inked in chat says Galaka Crawler's so hard right now.
Yeah, and Matt at Arms said, "Stop talking about pirates. My Galaka Crawler can only get so excited."
And so I'm just putting this out there. Which expansion did Galaka Crawler come out of?
It was Ungoro, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, Right. So how long is Galactic Crawler going to get to stay around?
The
Till
whole next
March
year.
of 2019.
However, the worst part of Pirates, in my opinion, and I think it's a shared opinion, is Patches. And he rotates out next year. So you're only going to have Patches be kind of a aggro-centric part of the Pirate package, where Pirates right now are aggro. I could see Patches rotating out and Pirates becoming more of a tempo kind of a play like they used to be, where they just kind of buff each other and you use them to make value trades and buff each other and so forth. Now, here's my thoughts. What if Defias Brotherhood brings out maybe bandit cards, a new tribe, and some of your existing cards, including Edwin, become bandits, which are about as close to ninjas as you're going to get in the World of Warcraft. So
You just can't let it go.
no, I can't. So, but if the majority of the set was bandits and then you also had some pirates put in there too, what do you think of that?
I think that right now, I think they just need to concentrate on getting it suitable to replace the cards that are going out. A little different flavor, but not necessarily. We don't want another Jade debacle. So if you're going to introduce a new tribe, it needs to be well thought out, and you need to make sure that particular classes aren't going to break it. Like, look for instance, Murlocs.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to force Murlocs onto Shaman now for expansions after expansions after expansion.
Yeah.
Where did it end up breaking? Well, it ended up breaking in Paladin.
Yep.
So Paladin utilizes Murlocs better than Shaman, even though Shaman has way more Murloc cards. You look at Jade, it seems like Jade would be, in my opinion, the way they laid out the Jade tribe in Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, it seemed like it would favor Rogue, but Druid was the one that ended up breaking it. Even though, in my opinion, Shaman probably had some of the more powerful Jade cards with Jade Lightning and Jade Chieftain. It just seemed to work better in
the original
Druid.
pirate cards were class specified for Rogue.
Yeah.
And then they put out a couple pirates in Warrior, and all of a sudden Warrior blew up as a pirate class. So that makes sense, and they can't be perfect in predicting where those are going to fall and lie. I'm just excited for it, period.
See, where they made their mistake with Pirate Warrior was that they made pirates buff not only the attack, but the durability of weapons.
Yes.
That's what broke pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And individually, the abilities were fine, but when you put them together as a group, it proved to be a problem. And that's an example of what I don't want them to do if they add in a tribe in this next expansion.
Well, I do know that there were some photos leaked or images leaked, and one of them was what looked to be a pirate type character, which we also saw the image in this week's Tavern Brawl. But he was also clearly in some mines. Mm-hmm. That's very indicative of dead mines. They have the Device Brotherhood down there. As well, there's also an image of a Murloc with a pirate hat on. And if you go to the WoW Wiki, it's a clear image of Captain Cookie, who took over
from the Dead Mines.
Who took over the captain's role that Edward Van Cleef had when he was killed, and then so he ended up being the captain. And then in the heroic version of it, Edwin's daughter is the main boss of that.
Vanessa
I would love to see Vanessa Van Cleef as a portrait or legendary at all, and I really think the reason we haven't seen her till now is because it's going to be Dead Mines.
Well, another interesting theory on this is that the new WoW expansion is going to be launched, and
Nautical.
It's a nautical themed WoW expansion. If that's the case, and they want to bring Hearthstone in line with WoW, they're going to be skipping a lot of great content that I feel like they could use, but nothing that says that they can't break the laws of canon and go back, So nothing says it has to be Deadmines, which if you're looking at WoW canon was next in line after Wrath of the Lich King when the Cataclysm came to Azeroth. Deadmines was re-envisioned from a mid-teens raid into a 80s raid. So, it seems to fit with what we've seen so far, but nothing says that they can't take this and line it up with the WoW expansion and make it something great. So I'm excited to hear both and see where the dice falls.
All right. Well, we're only a week and 2 days away from that announcement, so we will see what happens. All right. This week's Tavern Brawl, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, is the Headless Horseman Rides. It's time to battle the Headless Horseman. We'll arm you with the finest Hallows Inn costumes Azeroth has to offer. So we are actually going to check that out here in just a minute. I don't guess we ever discussed who was going to drive.
Well, we just assumed it would be you.
Oh, okay.
You said you were
I haven't played it
not
yet, so.
playing it because you were going to play it this afternoon. So I assumed
I
you
was
were going to
see it tonight. So I don't know. That's fine.
I would like you to drive specifically so they can see the splash screen of the Tavern Brawl.
Okay.
You can't do that in spectate mode. So
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, we will get to that. Last thoughts on anything we talked about today. Versika, do you want to start?
Just enjoy this last couple of weeks of Hearthstone, because I believe we will not only will we hear about the new expansion, but I think it'll come pretty fast. So I think you probably got another month. So if you like this meta and you want to make your push for Legend, November is going to be the time to do it, because you're not going to get to in December.
Okay. Zoroshia.
I want to remind everybody in the Knoxville, Tennessee area that we are doing a Fireside Gathering 3v3 Fireside Tavern Brawl this Saturday. We have details over on our Knoxville Facebook page. If you want to know more details, though, you can always hit us up on Twitter or email us by going to heropowerhs.com and click on the Contact Us link, and we'll give you any information you want. If you attend this Fireside, you can get Nemsy. It is an actual inn, so it will qualify to get you the new warlock, the new warlock character portrait of Nemsy Necrofizzle.
That is correct.
Is that her name? So come join us.
Zoroshio just put it out there for everybody to GPS spoof you, Avantis. You can thank Zoroshio.
Excellent.
And if you want to know the actual coordinates, Avantis will gladly give them to you, as he has others.
Spoofers, no spoofing.
Which will be out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean somewhere.
All right. So that's going to do it for us this week. If you're joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do that by joining us on Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right, gentlemen.
I'm still showing you in-app.
Well, I am in Hearthstone. And I am showing 0 people. So let me restart the app, because I am showing 0 people online. And I know that is not right.
Are you on your correct count or in the correct region?
Yeah, that's important too, because I was playing on EU this week.
This has happened before.
It's like, I'm in, guys. Where's everybody?
I swear.
That's exactly what it was. I was still on the European servers.
Yep.
And once again, Zoroshio was right.
Shh, don't tell Zoroshio.
Yeah, just like Pirates versus Ninjas. If it does happen, oh my gosh,
We won't
gonna
be
hit
able to
him.
live with you.
I'm
No.
gonna find that old worthy opponent episode and plaster it everywhere.
Yeah. Hallows End is here. All right.
Hey, you get a free arena run.
Hey, I get. a
Oh,
couple
look at those
too.
packs. Oh my goodness. Do you even log in, bro?
Yeah, EU.
That's fair.
All right.
Rank 15, man. You've been pushing the envelope.
Right. I had some quests I had to knock out, so I was playing some Zulok.
I really wish they would add favorites in the Hearthstone game friends list.
All right, let's brawl, gentlemen.
So
Wait,
if you have
wait.
not done...
I was gonna say what your opponent doesn't know is that right now he is technically going up against 3 people.
Yes.
What your opponent doesn't know is you're actually playing against AI.
Yes.
He's 3v1ing you.
Headless
Impressed
Horseman
with the
versus the
necro.
3-headed investigator.
So
Yeah.
I got some Stormwind champions.
Just throw them all back.
All right, throwing them all back.
Yeah, we need to get
Come
some more
on,
low-
something low. Come
we need to
on,
get our
something
low
low.
end. Yeah.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Ah!
So this is fun, okay?
The sky is dark. The fires burn. You drive in vain as fate's wheel turns.
Okay, so you have 3 costumes: witch, pirate, and cat. You get a combination of classes and kind of cards based on that. So we'll let you pick which one you want. Most people
pirates.
think which is the easiest.
All right, then let's do
Not
cat.
cats.
Not
No cats.
pirates and not cats. So
Which?
gosh, I don't know which one
Which-
to choose.
Which do we pick? Now you'll notice you had the coin. You no longer have the coin.
Oh,
It turned into another card.
okay.
So if your hero power is passive,
If you have
For the
enough
witch,
mana, your
if you have
spells
enough-
cost double and cast a second copy. Oh,
that's really cool, and you need to utilize that as much as you can.
But
Okay.
important note, you do have shaman cards in this deck. If
Yes.
it casted a second time,
Double
you
overload.
will get a second overload.
gotcha. Okay, so just passing, I guess, on turn 1.
Yeah, there's nothing to do.
Deal 2 damage randomly split among all enemies. Ooh. Okay.
Yes, and that can go to your face.
Gotcha.
By the way, this map is super awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just noticing. I love the orange and black. God, that's
Smash
like
the
my favorite
pumpkin.
color
Smash
combination.
All the
Smash
pumpkins.
the pumpkins.
So huge toad it.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we need something for his hero power to go to. Now his hero power costs 3, which is also something to note.
Yeah.
Good to see him throw those out early because we don't want him to utilize those.
All right. So go to face and play the Hot Spring Guardian, or just wait.
I think going face and hot springs is fine. We're probably going to try to title surge next turn. What do you think, Forsika?
I agree.
Okay. We need to try to get him down as fast as possible because he puts on the pressure quickly.
He does.
We kind of got a heavy curve too,
Ooh,
which is not ideal.
he
That's
has
fine.
Manic Soulcasters for days.
Yeah, it's next turn
Ah.
we got to work. Now this here is this means it's going to do it twice,
Twice.
which means
But
Yeah.
don't.
Which
no,
would
no,
not-
no.
Which would kill all of our stuff and leave
Yes.
his Soulcaster up. So that would be bad.
Well, but what you can do is you can send the Hot Springs Guardian into the
Undamaged
undamaged
one, yep.
Soulcaster. Send the Toad to face, and then Spirit Lash.
But do we need to do that?
I don't know if we
Yeah.
need to. I mean,
Well, he's going to use his hero power this next turn.
yeah,
You
which
may as
means
well clear.
we need to put a minion out or do that.
Well, I was thinking the Shield Master.
That's up to you. Go ahead.
If we do the Berserker, it sets it up to be a big Berserker next turn if we have to Spirit Lash then.
That's true too.
I think if we put out either one of those, though, we send the Toad into the 3/2. Or do it that way.
Yeah.
That way works too. It's 6 of one, half a dozen the other.
All right. Matt at Arms in chat says Pirates versus. We've already got Pirates versus Ninjas. It was called Gadget Zan.
I called it. Ooh, that's another good one. Well, we can't do both.
All right. So, what do you think here? Spirit Lash and go face with.
Nope. Spirit Lash still leaves up Spectral, and you're just going to. He's just going to clear the.
Okay.
You may as well just go ahead and put out White Eyes.
White Eyes?
Yeah. I like the White Eyes here.
And do we go face or clear with the Berserker?
Well, if you clear with the Berserker, he's just going to use the hero power on it.
Well, it's random.
It's random.
It's
so
random.
He may not hit it.
You run the risk of getting it out, but if you clear the Soulcaster, then you might be able to hit for 5. But he also has a spell that clears everything 4 toughness and under.
Yes, he does.
Okay. So then we're just going to go face and continue to put pressure. There's a Geist.
We will have to definitely clear that.
All right. So now
I would Spirit Lash Arcane Missiles.
Well, problem is those 2/2s are just going to be replaced. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It turned out pretty decent, actually. Good call, Versika. I hate it when you do that.
Sinister Squashling.
Now, it kills itself.
After this minion attacks, destroy it and deal 3 damage to all enemies. Wow.
So it says does 5 damage, but we're not low enough for that to be too much of a worry.
I would probably put out Malorn.
I like Malorn here.
Yeah.
He really challenges the board and challenges face.
Okay.
And him running into it is not going to clear it on its own, but he can't. Oh, there's Drain Soul. He could clear it with 2.
So, is there any merit to Wild Growth, ramping up to 10 with the Wild Growth, or just wait?
No. Just wait.
Yeah,
it's a way to refill your hand.
Okay, so Pulsing Pumpkin.
And I
start of your turn, destroy this and summon 2 Squashlings. Okay.
There is a Priest of the Feast in this deck.
Okay.
So Wild Growth will really give you some healing.
So Shield Master Huge Toad?
I think so.
Yeah, that 0/5 stinks. He's going to turn into 2/2s.
Right. That deal 3 damage to everything.
Yeah. But he can't attack with him this turn, which is beneficial.
Yikes.
Wow.
So much
Remember we
removal.
said he ramps fast?
Yeah.
Would love a Spirit Lash definitely now. I think you just Bog Creeper.
Let's see. He's going to take what?
3, 6, 9.
He's just
More
going
than
to
that.
It'll die, and I'm going to go down to 10 anyway.
But at least you're not taking the 2 damage to face.
I would
will.
probably Tidal Surge the 2/1.
Tidal Surge the 2/1?
You talking about the ghoul?
The ghoul. Yeah.
Trying to okay, because you're thinking they're just gonna kill themselves, but that's 15 points of damage we'll take.
Well, no, we're gonna take 9 damage from these guys.
No, we'll take 15.
Oh, that's right, because
each one does 2,
too.
and then they do 3.
Yeah.
But we'll have the bog creeper up, so that's
Yeah.
something. Hopefully, we draw into the priest to feast.
Storm
Or you
Guardian?
could just do that.
Yeah, Storm Guardian's better.
Then
And then
Power of the Wild twice.
Power of the Wild for Panthers.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I wish you could do it. Pick one, then pick the other, but
Okay.
that works. That works.
Fellfire Potion.
Oh, getting really low.
All the answers.
Yeah, he does. He does have like all of the answers. Ooh, that volcanic potion may be good later.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. We might be able to wild growth.
Yeah, I'm thinking Wild Growth here.
Yeah.
He's gonna let you draw 4 cards.
Oh,
It-
okay.
Cards. Oh no, you're right.
Double.
It does do it twice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Because you double the cost
Yeah.
of 0, it's still 0.
That's what they say. Double 0, he's still 0. Ooh.
Hey,
Bolt?
Ball
Yeah.
Frame
Bolt
Shield
worked
helps.
really well.
I'm thinking Rolf here.
Yeah. Yep. Roll the both. Both the both. Oh,
And now he's
come
dead.
on. Come on. Come on, man. Serious? That's not even cool.
All right, so you have to Bog Creeper into Volcanic.
Yeah. And you
Okay.
can't afford a volcanic first. And then both of his hero power can't go to our face. We need to draw into healing. Shadow Visions might help us with that. That's good.
All right, Shadow Visions.
Yep.
I can't see what the other one is.
Feral Spirit, Wild Growth, or
I
Sap.
would Wild Growth.
Yeah.
Feral
Oh,
Spirit, Molten Reflection, or Wild Growth.
I mean,
Molten
Wild Growth.
Reflection.
Molten Reflection gets us bigger dudes. It helped me a lot last time I did it
I mean, right now we need something on the board.
to soak up those shots. Yeah.
Right.
I got Enchanted Raven to toss down.
So
but
I
Midnight
would
Drake
go.
would probably be better.
Yeah, I would go ahead and Molten the copy of. Yeah,
Of the Bog.
Then go ahead and throw down the Enchanted Raven.
yeah, and
just
then
to
throw
soak
down the
up.
Raven.
And go face.
Go
If
face.
he can't kill us, we win.
Yep.
And I don't think he has anything to clear 2/6/4. Don't go double face. Okay. I think we win.
Yep.
We did it the
We got
hard
it.
way, but face is the place. By the way,
So
we don't
eager
win.
you are for my blood to spill, yet to vanquish me,
I
it's
debated
my
you.
head you must kill.
I debated you.
All right. So now what you're going to do is go ahead and Molten Reflections on your 6/4.
Yes. You're not in a bad spot.
So I noticed his hero power's gone.
Right. So now go ahead and Wild Growth.
Okay.
Okay. So I would go ahead and send your Raven into one of the 1/1s,
Play the 2/4.
and then, yep, 6/4 into the 235.
The problem is his hero power is built into the head now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does it every turn. And we're dead.
and that's game. Wow.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
All right. So now that you understand the rules,
The rules that there are no rules.
oh no, he has rules.
He has rules. Question is, do we do Witch again? Or do we try one of the other ones?
Whichever one you want. I say for the sake of the cast, we just do another one. We do a different one.
A different one? I would do cat next.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I found pirate to be the hardest.
Yes, I agree.
And why is that?
You'll see.
Yeah.
So we're going cat. This hero power is rather...
Whenever a non-boss enemy survives damage, summon a 1/1 cat. So it gives you minions to soak up his hero power.
And to keep trading into it if you get something like, Tundra Rhino.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You unfortunately didn't get any of your early minions. That kind of stinks. So you would end the turn.
Big Bad Claws is nice, though.
It is. Big Bad Claws is nice. I would go nuts if that is a card in the next expansion.
Okay. Guess we're just passing again?
Yeah.
Yes. So, have you noticed Big Bad Claws has a symbol on it?
Yep.
Yeah, it has the chess piece
Mm-hmm.
from Karazhan.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why?
Because Big Bad Wolf is from
It's the weapon
Karazhan?
from the Big Bad Wolf. Yes,
Yep.
exactly. We can't clear that.
Nope. We're
That-
just gonna have to take it.
Is rough. Well, I mean, he'll get 2/2/2s next turn. They can't attack.
Right.
For that reason, should we go ahead and equip the Big Bad Claws?
I would,
Okay.
but not use it.
Right.
No, don't use it. We need to either get a taunt that we can put out, or that's nasty.
Well, there's a...
We could charge into it.
Yeah, we could charge into one of them.
I think that's what I would do. I would charge into one and probably claw the other.
Yep. And we can claw the
Actually,
Manic
do we even
Soulcaster,
need
the
to claw?
Fallen. I mean, we could
claw
claw
the
the Manic
3/4, and we're
Soulcaster.
going to take 5.
We'll take 5, but his board will be cleared, or at least none of those minions will be alive.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay. I mean, we take the same amount of damage if we kill it next turn anyways, so
Right.
it's moot.
Spectral Knight.
That actually matches up decently with
Druid of the Claw.
we have got none of our early game, both games.
Well, there's a Tundra Rhino.
Crazy. And we'll want to save that.
I'm thinking claw here.
Claw and take it down.
Yeah.
What about King of Beasts? It would be a 6/6. No, never mind. That's Beasts. Never mind. Yeah. So Claw and just kill it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're taking a lot of damage early, but we have ways to generate armor. So,
We still have Nash.
Ash, what a horrible card. I wanted it to be better. We need some minion pressure.
Okay, so now I think is where we put out our king of the... Well, no, Tundra Rhino probably, right?
Why not the Druid of the Claw? And taunt.
I think he just gets rid of it.
Yeah. Let's
You can
go.
get rid of anything.
Well, right, but let's see if Tundra Rhino sticks. Next turn, we can drop a 4/6 that can charge.
we could drop an 8/2 that
We
can
can drop an
charge.
8/2 that can charge. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
we try to set up for next turn and see if it.
I
lives.
think he's going to use the card that clears all or less cost minions.
for
Yeah, I think
less
Tundra Rhino tends to... Ooh,
attack.
Spectral. You didn't see this last game.
minions attacking this have a 50% chance to attack a different character. Okay.
Now, that does not count your face.
Huh.
So, slam. Definitely.
Yep.
Gives us a cute
Blood to
little tabby
Icker.
cat.
Yep.
Oh, I see here.
And Nash it.
Or Grievous bot. Just continue bringing out
Yep.
minions.
Yep.
Well, the Gears bite. Well, yeah. I forgot it will. Well, we don't have a way to clear it this turn,
No.
but he may
Good.
suicide it.
I think he will. Oh, he went face.
Oh,
Wow, he is just going
so
all
much
out.
removal.
Yeah. Fast is so good.
So I
King of
would.
Beasts now would be a 3/6.
I think now's probably Druid of the
Should we attack
Druid of the Claw
first?
term. I would infest your.
Wait. Wouldn't you want a Druid of the Claw and then infest?
I was thinking about minimizing the targets, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's a 75% chance it hits the steed.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Should we Druid of the Claw infest first?
That's what I would do. That gives us two other
Beasts.
beasts in our hand.
Now, attack the 5/1 or go face and let the 5/1 kill itself.
I would try to attack the 5/1.
Yeah, try to, but it may not. It doesn't.
But at least we didn't hit our own face.
Oh, we won't. We will only have you attack legal targets.
It says a different character, so I mean,
Yeah. I never got it to attack anything other than one of his targets.
By the way, that was the third card in his hand, so even if we'd thrown out that couple of cards back, it would have still gotten Fireball.
Yep.
alright.
I think right now you probably need to go ahead and throw out the King of the Beast just to put the taunt up.
Do we Ravenous first just to
just to make
keep
it a
it
3/6.
an extra plus? You're not going to get the bonus out of it anytime soon.
Right.
Man, all the removal in the world. We can clear that with Savage Roar
We can clear it with
or Nash
I was gonna say, I think you Nash and run.
for the armor, pretty much.
Yeah.
Then do we Mukla and Alley Cat? Try
I
to go
would.
wide?
Yeah.
I like that. What?
Oh,
And Hellfire. What are you laughing about?
the Hellfire, because of
Oh.
course.
We can clear that.
Yeah.
Cat Trick's not a bad thing to draw.
Cat trick into the Sabretooth.
That's about all we can do, I think. And then
Yep.
clear the 5/5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have to clear
Well,
that.
I mean, we could Sabretooth banana it so it survives the hero power and then clear.
Yeah,
I would just go ahead and clear first because you know you're good.
yeah, clear first.
Yeah.
He only has one card.
Yeah, I would go ahead and Hat Trick and Sabretooth and
Yeah, I like the Hat Trick and Sabretooth. It's
What do you think about the bananas? Well, never mind.
we still had mana, didn't we?
Yep.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. But that's fine. It didn't kill it. We can Grievous bite that.
I will.
Kind of have to. And then Savannah
I would.
Do you want a double banana?
I would double banana the Sabertooth.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I'd say unless there's some magical.
There's that.
Some magical healing spell that I didn't see in this deck earlier, I'd say we're pretty much done.
I think you might be right.
I think we're just done. Period.
I think
Yeah, we're
That
dead.
wasn't-
We're
it
dead
wasn't
to
a
the.
taunt,
We're dead to the. That thing.
shade.
Yeah.
The meta.
Shade
Yeah,
of
the shade.
Naxxramas.
Kill him. At least to put his head out.
Can't kill him.
Can't.
Give him a
That's what I'm
one.
saying. At least. Oh, yeah.
We were one off being able to do that. One off lethal.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right. So one more with pirate.
Yep.
Sure.
These, and I don't think I won my first time at all with these at all. I might have with the witch. But they're tough, but they're not impossible. And they're a lot of fun to figure out.
Yeah.
These are the type of things I like. I like these type of brawls that you kind of get an idea what your opponent's doing, and you can kind of adjust accordingly.
Right.
I mean, your first time through, you don't know what's in the deck.
And we purposely Avanti's purposely did not even check it out or look up anything.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell him about anything.
And we're trying not to spoil too much.
Now, Captain Cookie, I think he is going to be a card in that form.
Whenever you summon a pirate while this is in your hand, this minion gets +1/+1. Wow.
But he's not a pirate. He's a Murloc.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Your
nothing
minions
you can
count
do.
as pirates. All right. Turn 1 Sinister Squashling, because of course it is.
Yep.
He's going to kill himself.
All right. Loot Hoarder?
Or South Captain.
or-
I was gonna say, I think I would South Sea Captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might want to save the Loot Hoarder to double up with the Shade Dealer.
Gotcha.
And naturally, Patches is in this deck.
Hey, what do you know?
Naturally.
Cleave. Drain Soul.
He has all, like, his whole deck is nothing but removal.
Yeah.
I think we need to Shadow
We
Strike
could-
that.
Shadow Strike and upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah. The upgrade, yeah, definitely upgrade. But we don't want that to get out of hand.
Yeah. Don't attack.
No, I was going to wait and Blood Cell Cultist.
Captain
Or
Cookie is
turn
very
6.
important.
Ooh.
Yeah, that thing stinks.
Wait, everything counts as a pirate, right? So it'll trigger the cultist?
Yes. Yes.
So, Loot Hoarder Cultist?
We really don't have a reason we need to upgrade our weapon, and the Shady Dealer becomes a 5/4.
Okay.
Put
So
Loot
I-
Hoarder out.
Yeah, Loot Hoarder definitely. But then we gotta decide: do we go Shady Dealer or do we go Blood Cell Cultist?
I think Shady Dealer right now,
I
Okay.
agree.
and I would pass.
It's actually really good.
My kingdom for a whirlwind.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was one in here. So
Shady
So
Dealer
I'm-
Cultist?
I mean, it looks good to me.
Sure. I would definitely use the Elite Hoarder to take out that 5/1.
Yeah, try with the Loot Hoarder first.
Got
It
him.
worked.
So now pick off one of the 1/1s.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. Let your minions do that. Preserve your health.
We want to save the weapon for the sinister squashlings.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. That way we're taking 2 instead of 5.
Okay.
Cleaves all day. The good things with
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
That's what I was just about to say. Just to go crazy. On mine, I got the
Firefly.
thistle tea onto 3 fireflies, and it was just like flame elemental, firefly, flame,
Firefly.
just 6 times.
So this is probably where we see the everything.
Yep.
Oh no, he's just gonna hellfire.
Well, we have sprint, and we can clear that with backstab.
Backstab weapon, and then sprint.
I would sprint first.
Sprint first.
Sky Captain Crag.
The death. Another firefly. That's good. Yeah. Now, do we go ahead and toss a firefly out just to have something out there
I
to
would.
throw some shots?
I would.
And the trick
They're
is to
already at 15.
get him down to no cards in his hand,
Yeah.
so we know that the cookie's going to stick.
Okay,
South.
so hold on.
Okay.
You got 9, and for each pirate on the board, Crag offers
One
or
less.
it's 1 less.
Yeah.
So I would cultist.
Oh, hold on a second. We're not. If we cultist, we can't do South Sea Deckhand and still get him out. He won't get low enough. And if we do South Sea Captain, Crag will kill the 5/5.
Okay.
Does that make sense, though?
I don't like it, but it does.
I mean, what was your? I'm just. I
What
didn't know
about
if you were trying
elemental?
to get.
Just go ahead and take Zeroshio's line.
All right, so we're gonna elemental, which brings him down to 5.
yeah.
South Sea Captain, which brings him down to 4. Crag. Trade.
I would just send the other one to face because
Yeah.
you're.
Okay.
And you may as well go ahead and start using your weapon charges because you had the fiery war axe.
Yep.
Okay. There's fear. With 4 or less attacks, so Crag lives.
Crag lives. Then he drops
Then
down
he
to 4.
dies.
Hero power.
So, Acolyte, Cultist.
I wouldn't
Sharp sword.
cultist
Oh.
now.
Oh, you want to wait and save that for the axe.
I would probably put out Captain Cookie.
Yeah, he's going to absorb a lot.
Should we
But I would-
Acolyte of Pain first?
I would Acolyte first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and
Go
go
ahead.
face with the weapon.
Yep.
All right.
Wow.
So, kill the squashling.
You can't do it with your I would ship's cannon first.
Okay.
Then I would fiery war axe.
Overwrite the weapon.
Yeah. Then cultist. Maybe you'll get lucky with the shot.
Yes, we did. But yeah.
So,
So Yeah, you have to take out the 5-3.
with Cookie, right?
Yep. Send the Acolyte to face and probably go to face with. Yep.
All right. All right, we're in phase 2.
All right.
Do we go ahead and draw with Acolyte?
Yeah, I would go ahead and draw with Acolyte.
Thistle
That's
Tea.
not a bad draw.
Yeah. Don't you think Thistle Tea use that to activate the Sharp Sword Oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what we draw, but yeah.
3
definitely.
Acolytes.
I would put it out an Acolyte.
Yeah, because we got stuff to activate the Sharp Sword next turn.
Don't do
don't do
anything.
don't do anything with your face yet.
All right.
You're going to want to save that for a killing shot.
Hobart. Put out 2 Acolytes and the one-eyed cheat.
I would put out as many
Minions.
creatures as you could.
Yep. Because he's going to try to go to face pretty much our 2-turn clock. Yeah, Cookie's going to be the one we need to do the brunt of our damage.
There's no reason to. Yeah, I guess so. I was gonna say there's no reason to draw this turn, but
It's an extra point of damage, but yeah, that's negligible. Well, that's good. I think that seals it for us.
yep.
Cookie's
Oh
dead.
no, maybe not.
Last card.
So we got 1, 2,
All right.
Hold
So
2, 4, 8. We can't use our face at all.
we can't use either of the Acolytes
Well, we can.
and die.
Hold on. Because you're gonna want to eviscerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to activate the Eviscerate with the War Axe.
Phantom Knives?
Phantom Knives draws and
is
we
gonna
die.
Draw.
Oh, we're out of cards.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were out of cards.
Well, I
Yeah,
take it back.
we're gonna
We
have
can
to-
draw 1 card.
Yeah, I don't think we can win.
That's 2.
Sharp Sword Oil.
Yeah, there's no way we can win.
Okay, I think what we do is we War Axe,
Sharp Sword Oil.
Sharp Sword Oil, Eviscerate.
Yeah,
Can't
it's
target.
still going to be short.
Can't even
You
target
can't
the head.
eviscerate it. Yeah, you can't eviscerate it. Oh, that was close. Seppuku. It definitely takes some thinking.
Yeah.
Got him down to 1.
Yep.
So close.
So we actually had our best run with Pirate.
Yeah. Of course, we'd also, seen it a couple times.
Right.
And each one's similar. Not identical, but they're similar. He has a couple cards I didn't see in the other ones. But most of them are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
It was. It was a good run. It was a lot of fun. So it's a good brawl. Go play it if you haven't done so already. But all right, guys. Do you have any last thoughts about this week's brawl?
I'm glad they're doing them. Really. That's about it.
I like the event. I wish that it was more than just 4 days long. Like, it's not even going to be around on Halloween. So
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
run it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I could feasibly see them running it for 2 weeks.
And then have like how many times you win, have like a contest or something. I don't know.
That would be cool. They'd have to code it to reset on Wednesday, so you get another pack next week. But I don't think that's far fetched. I am enjoying the arena. It is, again, I do play arena regularly, but it's very refreshing to have different set of rules, and I do hope they kind of change up arena in the future. Having the dual classes is overpowering sometimes because you can get certain combination of cards that you normally can't get, but because it's arena, you're not guaranteed to get those. So it's kind of neat to see your opponents getting them and seeing yourself able to get those combination of cards like the Akanai into healing spells from other classes and things like that. It's just it's refreshing. I'm having fun with it. I'm currently on a 4-1 arena run and doing really well.
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button below on YouTube or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. And for more details on our Patreon, you can find that over at patreon.com/heropower. Until next week, good gaming.
Bye.
Forsika's already asleep. Dang it, we
Nope.
ran too long.